I saw an anonymous post on Facebook.
And now I feel like my girlfriend isn't good enough for me. I'm thinking about breaking up with her. What should I do?
I clicked on it, and the poster was bragging about his merits like there was no tomorrow, hyping every single one up to the max. Landing a job at a top-tier business firm after acing the interview was the main flex, mentioned non-stop throughout the whole post. And when it came to his girlfriend, the contempt and disdain practically oozed off the screen.
My girlfriend is a 5 out of 10 looks-wise. She's okay looking, but she's short and comes from a really ordinary family. She doesn't help my future or career at all.
I sneered and shared it with my boyfriend, Jackson, on a whim. You don't think the same thing, do you? It was just a tease, but he froze on the spot, not moving a muscle for ages. I narrowed my eyes at the man on the couch. He finally snapped out of his daze, forcing a sheepish laugh.
Of course not, babe. I love you more than anything in the world.
Twitched the corner of my mouth and didn't press him further. But a crack of doubt had formed in my heart. Jackson was definitely acting fishy. The more I read this post, the more I see the OP listing every single one of his advantages in great detail. He graduated from a top-tier school, landed a job at a leading company right away, and his boss thinks highly of him. You can practically smell the arrogance between the lines, no matter how hard he tries to hide it. And he disses his girlfriend hard, and he talks about his girlfriend with total disdain. She's not that good-looking, short, has no connections, and she's no help at all for my future. Ugh, another jerk who dumps his partner the second he gets a good break. The dim lamplight. I watched his Adam Stuckle bub nervously. After a long while, he forced a stiff smile and said,
Absolutely. Guys like this are the worst.
Something was seriously off. We'd been together for 3 years. I knew every little facial tic of his like the back of my hand. Right now, he looked like a cat whose tail had been stepped on, all his fur standing on end.
I'm gonna take a shower.
He practically fled the couch, forgetting his phone even in his haste. Once the water started running in the bathroom, I picked up his phone. The screen lit up, and the lock screen was still our couple photo, but the passcode was no longer my birthday. I tried all his usual passcodes, but none worked. My heart sunk little by little, and a woman's intuition pricked at me like a needle. Jackson, I took your phone and we're heading back to the room. I grabbed my own phone, made a new anonymous account, and followed the poster. Pretending to be a random netizen curious for the tea, I commented, "You've got it all going for you. Why not just break up with her straight up?" The water in the bathroom stopped, so I quickly put down my phone and pretended to be asleep. Jackson climbed into bed quietly, and seeing that I was asleep, he picked up his phone. In the dark, I heard him click his tongue softly. A moment later, my phone buzzed. The anonymous poster replied to me,
I needed a backup before I landed this job. Now she's way out of my league. I'll break up with her when I find someone better. She's just a placeholder for now.
I stared at the screen, feeling my blood run cold. That tone, those word choices, even the final period. It was Jackson, no doubt about it. I curled up under the covers, suddenly feeling like the double bed was enormous and empty. It turned out, while I was planning our future together, he had been treating me like a disposable placeholder. Why do you keep changing your passcode lately?
The company's cracking down on information security. We all have to change our passcodes regularly now.
I nodded and didn't press it, but I sneered to myself. Jackson's nitpicking got worse and worse.
Don't you think this outfit is a bit too plain? My colleagues' girlfriends all dress really nicely. You work so much overtime at that private company, and your salary never goes up. You might as well quit early. When I get a promotion, you can be a stay-at-home wife and focus on the full family are. But this full-time.
A stay-at-home wife?
Yeah. After marriage, a woman's priority is the family. That job of yours is tiring and going nowhere. Why bother with it?
Jackson, you think I'm not good enough for you anymore, don't you?
Iris, why are you being so unreasonable? I'm only thinking about our future. Do you have any idea how hard this job is? Winning and dining clients, writing reports, keeping the boss's company. By the time I get home, there's not even a hot meal waiting for me.
So I should quit my job and be your maid? I scoffed, my eyes locked on his.
Can't you just some slack? Everything I'm doing is to give us a better life. You're breaking my heart.
With that, he grabbed his jacket and slammed the door on his way out. I sat at the dinner table, listening to his footsteps fade down the hallway, then slowly picked up my phone. I opened the voice recorder and saved our entire conversation. After that night, Jackson didn't get home until the wee hours of the morning. He smelled faintly of a perfume that wasn't mine. I pretended to be asleep and listened as he crept quietly to the bathroom, then put his phone on silent and hid in the toilet texting. The next morning, while he was washing up, I quickly rummaged through his coat. I found a bill from an upscale restaurant. The reservation was made by Zoe. I took a picture and casually hung my coat back up. It's the weekend today. You're not working overtime, aren't you? I asked softly over breakfast. He didn't even look up from his phone, scrolling away.
I have to meet an important client with the boss.
I lowered my head and ate my porridge, trying to hide the cold smile on my lips. As soon as he left the house, I turned on my computer and logged into his WhatsApp account. It was a passcode I'd set for him 3 years ago. He'd probably gotten it and I still knew it. His chat history was spotless, clearly deleted. I felt something was off. But in his recent call act, a name, Miss Lynn, popped up constantly, most of the calls taking place during his work hours. I screenshot it, then opened his email. Buried among a pile of work emails was a notice from the HR department, titled, "Welcome Zoe to our team." Zoe. I mouthed the name to myself. Few minutes later, I found her photo on an official website. Young, beautiful, and her profile clearly stated, Zoe, Junior, the CEO, evaluated a prestigious Hawaii of Mustery, Perfenagongstagulsit. I closed the way page, leaned back in my chair, and let out a long breath. So that's how it was. Jackson had really thought this all through, playing his cards perfectly. I picked up my phone and texted my best friend, "Help me look someone up," pulled out the floral dress Jackson hated the most, and ironed it carefully. If he wanted to play games, I'd play right along, and I'd play to win. On our 3rd anniversary, I'd even taken the afternoon off work specially. My phone buzzed and a text from Jackson popped up.
Babe, I have to host a surprise inspection team from headquarters.
I stared at the screen and couldn't help but sneer. This was the first anniversary we wouldn't spend together since we'd been dating. It's fine. Work comes first, I replied, then clicked on an anonymous forum. Sure enough, a familiar ID had posted just 10 minutes earlier, tearing the CEO's daughter boost my career. The post had analyzed Zoe's family background and connections in extremely business resources, status, wealth, and power. I scoffed and screenshot the post. Even though the account was anonymous, Jackson would never lose that signature writing style, fake modesty masking blatant bragging. If my boyfriend was working overtime, then his girlfriend ought to bring him a late-night snack as a sweet surprise, right? Outside the upscale French restaurant, I sat in a taxi watching Jackson walk in, impeccably dressed in a suit. He was carrying a bouquet of champagne roses, clearly on his way to confess his feelings. I said it with an icy expression. After I paid, I got out of the car and followed them. The restaurant was bathed in warm, dim, romantic light. Jackson sat at a window seat, and across from him was a young girl in a white dress. That had to be Zoe. I picked a corner seat and sat with my back to them. Once the waiter left, I quietly pointed my phone camera at them and started recording.
I know we don't know each other very well. I fell for you the second I saw you at work. You're nothing like any girl I've ever met.
My fingers trembled slightly. 3 years ago under the cherry blossom trees on campus. He said the exact same words to me, in that exact sickly sweet tone. You're joking. We've only known each other for 2 weeks.
Some people know each other their whole lives and never feel a thing. Others, it's love at first sight. I know my current position isn't good enough for you, but I'll work my hardest to.
I turned off the recording and took a deep breath to calm myself down. Zoe. Just then, Zoe stood up and headed for the restroom, and I followed her right away. The hallway outside the restroom was dimly lit. I pretended to touch up my makeup, but actually I was watching Zoe in the mirror. But she smiled at me and said straight up, "You've been following me. What's up?" "Mrs. Lynn, sharp eyes," I said, turning to face her directly. "I'm Jackson's girlfriend. Today's our 3rd anniversary." To my surprise, Zoe didn't look shocked or embarrassed at all. She turned off the faucet, pulled a business card out of her elegant clutch, and handed it to me. 3 p.m. tomorrow, Peninsula Cafe. I think we have a lot to talk about. I took the card and couldn't help but ask. Meaningful smile. I've met 100 guys like Jackson. Also, he saw the glare from your phone when you were recording. See you tomorrow, Zoe said, patting my shoulder, then turned and walked back to the restaurant with perfect poise. Jackson so tight it made me winch.
Iris, what are you doing here?
A little anniversary surprise? I shook the gift bag in my hand and shot back. Looks like you've got a surprise for me too, huh?
Don't make a scene here. Let's talk outside.
I let him drag me out of the restaurant. Jackson let go of me and tugged at his tie impudently.
It's not what it looks like.
Then what is it? You need champagne roses to host an inspection team?
You followed me? Iris, I'm so disappointed in you.
So this is all my fault now?
I'm just doing what the boss told me to. The reception team told me to show his daughter around the city. Could I say no? Do you have any idea how much I sacrificed for this job?
Even whispering sweet nothings to her? His face froze. He clearly hadn't thought I'd heard that much. His tone softened all of a sudden, and he reached out to hug me.
Iris, let me explain.
I stepped back to avoid his arms. Explain what? How you stood me up on our anniversary to read a suck up to the boss's daughter? Jackson's face turned deathly pale.
How did you know?
Do you think I should tell her you've had a girlfriend this whole time, and you're just playing her for a fool?
Iris, calm down. I'm doing all this for our future. That spoiled rich girl has a terrible temper. She smashes things and yells at people for no reason. I'm swallowing my pride to get close to her just so I can get a promotion and a raise and give you a better life.
If I hadn't seen everything with my own eyes, I would have almost been moved by his fake sincerity. Almost believed single word he said. I paused for a brief moment, then feigned a casual air, curling the corners of my mouth as I replied, "Is that so?" I lowered my eyes, dodging his attempt to come closer again. I gently but firmly brushed his hand off my shoulder and said in a soft but clear voice, "If that's the case, you won't mind if I meet Zoe tomorrow to catch up, right?"
No!
He blurted out, then realized he'd overreacted and softened his tone.
I mean, she's a spoiled rich girl. What if she hurts you?
"Don't worry," I said, straightening my collar that he'd crumpled. "I'll keep my cool." As I turned to leave, I could feel Jackson's stare burning into my back. I didn't look back, just pulled out my phone and sent Zoe a text. "See you tomorrow. Also, he said you have a bad temper and like smashing things."
Iris, believe me. I'm only getting close to Zoe for us.
What do you mean? That evening, Jackson had shaken off the panic from the restaurant and spoke in a deep, sincere voice.
Iris, believe me.
I put on a doubtful look on purpose.
I'm only getting close to Zoe for us.
What do you mean?
You have no idea how hard it is to get a promotion in a big company like this. The CEO holds the promotion spots for next year in his hands. All I need is to win Zoe over.
So you're using her?
It's all for our future. That spoiled girl has a horrible temper. Yesterday, she poured red wine all over a waiter just because he was a little slow with the food.
I barely held back a scoff. That lie was so ridiculous, it was almost funny.
You have no idea how much put up with every single day.
He kept up his act, his eyes filled with fake pain and patience.
But when I think about giving you a better life, I can take all this crap. Iris, you're the only one I love. As soon as I get that promotion spot, I'll cut ties with that spoiled girl right away, okay?
Okay.
I knew you'd understand. You're the best.
He smiled in relief and kissed my forehead.
Go get some rest. I have to head back to the office to work overtime.
As soon as the door closed, I pulled out my phone and texted Zoe. The next day, in a private booth at Peninsula Cafe, Zoe listened to my recording and laughed till she could barely sit up. I poured wine on a twaler? His storytelling skills are wasted. He should be writing soap operas. Look at this too. I handed her my phone. On the screen was the long message Jackson had sent me the night before, a sobbing tale of how he'd been swallowing his pride, even making up details about Zoe hitting him. Wow, that's a masterpiece. Zoe whistled, pulling out her own phone from her bag. Now let's see how he describes you. I took her phone, and on the screen was a WhatsApp message Jackson had sent Zoe. A hick girl? I went to the same university as he did, and graduated at the top of my class in computer science. Is that what he calls a hick girl? Zoe rested her chin in her hand, watching my reaction with amusement.
Looks like Jackson's a master of roleplay.
To you, he's the devoted boyfriend swallowing his pride for your future. To me, he's the poor gentleman stuck with a clingy ex. What else did he tell you? I asked her, and she looked at me with a smile. So much garbage. Like how you chased him for 3 years and wouldn't take no for an answer, how you show up at his office to stalk him all the time, and the most ridiculous one is...
He said, you have mild schizophrenia, so he's scared to break up with you directly.
She burst out laugh again. I took a deep breath. Zoe, are you interested in collaborating? Zoe's eyes lit up, and she raised her coffee cup to clink it against mine.
Honestly, I've been waiting for you to say that.
For the next 2 hours, we shared every single piece of information we had on Jackson. Jackson didn't know was that Zoe had already seen his file from her dad, including his dirty little secret of dating 3 girls at the same time in college. Too much trouble. It'll be way more fun to send him viral for social death instead. The next day, I was sitting at my desk at work, staring at the message Jackson had sent me on my computer. This was the 3rd time he'd worked overtime that week.
Since Zoe and I teamed up, she'd been giving Jackson just enough hope to string him along, replying to his messages every now and then, agreeing to a random lunch or two. And Jackson, like a dog who'd caught a whiff of a bone, was diving headfirst into the trap, no hesitation at all.
Iris, is the proposal ready? My manager's voice suddenly came from behind me. I quickly locked my screen and turned around. Almost done, just one final check. By 8 p.m., I was the only one left in the office. Just as I was saving the last file, the screen suddenly went blue. Subsequently, all the documents vanished without a trace. What the hell? I muttered, slamming my fingers on the keyboard, cold sweat breaking out on my back. The deadline to present the proposal to the client was tomorrow. I heard a faint rustle at the door. I spun around and caught a glimpse of Jackson's figure darting away. I hung my head, digging my nails into my palm. I'm so sorry. Are you going to cover the company's losses? Pack your things. Wait for the disciplinary notice.
A colleague from the IT department shook his head helplessly the next day. Looks like a virus. We can't recover the files. My manager's face was stormy.
Iris, do you have any idea how important this client is? I walked out of the meeting room and saw Jackson walking in to find me, right on cue. He put an arm around my shoulder, looking concerned.
What's wrong? You look terrible.
I fought the urge to slap him across the face, leaned into his shoulder, and pretended to sob. All the proposal files are gone. The company might fire me.
That crummy job wasn't worth keeping anyway. It's the perfect time to take a break. I'll take care of you. Really?
Really?
Of course. But we have a big company party coming up soon. The CEO's going to be there too. You've been so upset lately. Don't come, okay?
I nodded obediently, sneering to myself. His big company party was just the stage he'd picked to confess to Zoe in front of everyone. That night, I met Zoe at her house. She hopped down the stairs in her pajamas, yelling, "Dad, stop looking so guilty. Iris is not someone you can push around. My dad's going to be at the party in person. We need to let Jackson put on his whole show first, then expose him in front of everyone." Guess what he asked my dad for today?
What?
The right to host the party. Said he's got an important announcement to make. Zoe's dad and I exchanged a look, and both shook our heads. The lead actor of this show was chomping at the beat to get on stage. On the day of the party, I snuck into the hotel ballroom half an hour early. Jackson was in a crisp, tailored suit, his eyes darting to the door every 2 seconds, obviously waiting for Zoe to show up.
Nervous?
Zoe said, appearing at my side out of nowhere. I shook my head, pulled out my phone from my bag, and checked the voice recorder. All the gear ready? She winked mischievously.
Don't worry, just follow my lead later.
When the CEO went up on stage to give a speech, Jackson stood at the side of the stage, like a peacock ready to show off its feathers at any second. I turned on my phone's camera and pointed it at the stage. Next up, let's welcome Jackson to perform for us. The host's announcement made Jackson freeze. This was clearly not part of his plan.
I want to take this chance to say something to someone special.
From the second I first saw you, I knew you were the one for me.
I know some people have been spreading rumors that I have a girlfriend.
Jackson's face suddenly turned pained.
But that's just a clingy old classmate. I never had the heart to reject her outright, out of pity. Is that she's a clingy old classmate.
This is it. I shot to my feet and walked onto the stage. Jackson, who the hell are you calling a clingy old classmate? The room erupted in an uproar. Jackson's face turned deathly pale, and his ragged breathing blared through the microphone.
Iris? What are you?
He composed himself quickly, putting on a helpless expression.
Sorry, everyone, this is the girl I was talking about. A friend who's a little emotionally unstable.
Don't rush it. Let everyone hear this. I pulling out my phone and playing the recording of him in the taxi, saying he was getting close to Zoe for our future. Jackson's voice boomed clearly through the ballroom.
That spoiled rich girl has a terrible temper. I'm swallowing my pride to get close to her just so I can get a promotion and a raise and give you a better life.
The room exploded in shock. Jackson lunged at me to grab my phone.
Hey!
But the CEO stepped in and stopped him. Zoe suddenly stood up, putting on an Oscar-wearing performance.
He told me she was the one clinging to him,
she said, covering her face and sobbing as she ran out of the ballroom. I stood at the edge of the stage, watching Jackson's ashen face. His eyes scanned the room, meeting nothing but contempt, then locked on me, his expression turning vicious.
Iris, you set me up, didn't you?
Set you up? Aren't these all the things you did yourself? He lunged at me again, but was held back by security. As he struggled, his suit tore, his hair became a mess. He looked nothing like the polished elite he pretended.
Iris, you'll pay for this!
He screamed hysterically as he was dragged out of the room.
This is just the beginning.
I stared at myself in the mirror, suddenly remembering how Jackson once mocked me for only being able to afford cheap makeup.
They only deserve to use cheap cosmetics.
Zoe, tell me, which will hurt him more, social death or actual jail time? Kids have to choose. We're gonna make him experience both. 3 days after the party, I was at home packing my bags for my trip abroad when Zoe's phone call came in out of the blue.
Hey.
Check the Weibo trending page right now. I opened the trending list, and 2 topics were right at the top. Dumping your partner the second you get a good job, and a classic example of a social climber. I clicked in, and the video of Jackson being dragged out of the company party had gone viral all over the internet. The top liked comment read, "Should be used as a negative example in every textbook." Did you do this? I asked Zoe, laughing.
Nope, not me. An intern who was there posted it. But
she paused.
I did anonymously send screenshots of his forum posts to a few big influencers.
I scrolled through all the dug-up posts. From my girlfriend isn't good enough for me to how to Dutch a hick girl, every single one of Jackson's disgusting comments was saved as a screenshot. A netizen even made a long comparison chart, putting his posts bragging about being the CEO's future son-in-law next to his chat logs, crying about being forced to socialize with the caption, "A modern master of changing faces." My phone suddenly vibrated, and Jackson's name popped up on the screen.
He's calling again?
Yeah, I'll just block him. Don't!
Answer it, and turn on the recorder. We might get more dirt on him.
I pressed the answer button and the record button and spoke in a deliberately hoarse voice. Hello? Jackson's voice was choked with sobs.
You finally answered. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry.
I was crazy to post those things. I lost my mind.
So what? I asked coldly.
Whole internet is attacking me, and the company has suspended me, he said, his voice shaking. Please help me. Post a statement saying it's all a misunderstanding.
I almost laughed out loud. A misunderstanding? Your plan to dump me for a rich girl is a misunderstanding? Jackson's tone turned cold and vicious.
I have your photos on my phone. Believe me or not, I'll post them online.
I'd been ready for this. Oh? You mean the one you secretly took on my birthday last winter? He froze, shocked.
How did you know?
Because I found it and deleted it that same night. By the way, I've recorded what you just said. Don't forget to familiarize yourself with the Texas Penal Code. I heard the sound of something smashing, and Jackson's furious crazes from the other end of the line. I hung up the phone calmly and sent the recording to Zoe. 10 minutes later, I received a message from Zoe. The message read, "Oh my God, his colleagues exposed that he embezzled company funds to buy." I clicked the link she sent me. It was an anonymous post listing every luxury item Jackson had bought with company money, with photos as proof. The most ironic part, a Hermes belt was marked for Arthur, and Zoe had just told me her dad never accepts gifts from anyone. Jackson's ID photo was made into all kinds of memes, and the hashtag #JacksonGetOut had over 100 million views. Zoe sent another message.
My dad said he'll never get into that company in his entire life.
The phone rang. It was Jackson's mother, and I could hear her screaming and crying through the line.
You jinx! You ruined my son's life. Do you know how much money we spent raising him?
I didn't care at all. I just thought it was funny. He got exactly what he deserved. I just hung up and blocked that number too. The sun shining bright outside. I smiled and locked my phone. Last big show before I leave the country, about to kick off. In the coffee shop downstairs from my company, I was going over the final handover details with my manager. In 2 days, I'd be flying to Mexico for a 6-month overseas training program.
Iris, the company actually appreciates your way of handling crises.
This is a special bonus approved by the headquarters for redoing the client proposal in just 48 hours after the files were lost.
I was about to thank him when the glass door of the coffee shop slammed open. Jackson ran in, unshaven and a mess, his eyes locked on me like a predator. His voice was haunty, drawing stares from all the other customers.
Sir, it's all her fault. She begged me to take her back. I said no, so she made up lies and framed me.
The coffee shop went dead silent. I took a calm sip of my coffee, opened my phone's photo album, and said, "Jackson, this is the surveillance footage of you tampering with my computer that day. Do you want me to play it for everyone here?"
How did she get that? She can't be serious.
And this?
I said, playing the recording of threatening to post my intimate photos online.
The looks on the other customers' faces turned from curiosity to pure contempt. Jackson's face turned purple. Looks on the other customers' faces turned from curiosity to pure contempt. Jackson's face turned purple with rage, and he suddenly grabbed a coffee cup from the table and threw it at me. My manager reacted fast, holding up a folder to block it, and all the hot coffee splashed all over Jackson instead.
Security!
Doubt.
Iris, I'll never let you get away with this. You wait and see.
Sorry you had to witness this farce. I said to my manager, smiling apologetically, the company will be stepping up security. Headquarters places great value on your ability to gather evidence. Once your training is complete, they are considering transferring you to the risk management department. I walked out of the coffee shop, and Zoe's sports car was parked right by the side of the road. She rolled down the window.
Wasn't that a show? I just came from my dad's office. Got even better news for you.
Jackson's parents came from their hometown. They're screaming and crying at the gate of his old company, and they let it slip that all the money he sent home every month was embezzled.
What?
I'm dying of laughter. His parents thought their son had been framed by his colleagues, so they stormed over to his workplace demanding an explanation, only to end up spilling the beans about how he used company funds to buy a house for the family. By the way, what time's your flight tomorrow? My dad said he'll send a car to take you to the airport.
No need, I already booked a car. Can you keep an eye on Jackson's trial for me? These 6 months for me?
You bet I will. I'll go to the trial and give you a live play-by-play.
When I got home, I checked my luggage one last time. A photo of Jackson and me was on the nightstand. I picked it up, tore it in half, and put the half with just me in my wallet. 3 years of love, and all that was left was a flimsy half a photo. But I didn't feel the heartbreak I thought I would. Instead, I felt free, like I'd finally gotten a fishbone stuck in my throat for years. My phone screen lit up with a message from Zoe.
Just heard Jackson's education background is fake. He didn't even graduate at Jubilee at all. I'll go dig up the first-hand evidence from the archives tomorrow. You'll have a subterfugiation when you come back.
I smiled and turned off the light. Tomorrow would be a brand new day. In the coffee shop in the airport's departure hall, Zoe pushed a small gift box toward me.
A going-away present. Open it when you get to Mexico.
I touched the box tied with a silver ribbon, and my eyes suddenly felt a little wet. A month ago, we were complete strangers. Now we were best friends who could talk about anything. I stirred my coffee and said, Zoe, I've been meaning to ask, how did you recognize me right away in the restaurant bathroom that day? Zoe rested her chin in her hand and gave me a mischievous smile. Because I saw your photo on Jackson's phone, along with all his disgusting messages about you. She recalled.
The first time he asked me out to dinner, his phone lit up briefly on the table. I glimpsed the lock screen and saw a girl in a blue dress, so I recognized you immediately at the restaurant that day. I shook my head with a wry smile. It turned out Jackson's lie was exposed because he'd already given himself away early on.
I knew then that a man who could belittle his girlfriend like that was definitely not a good person.
The boarding announcement came over the loudspeaker. Zoe suddenly leaned in, grinning mischievously. By the way, my cousin's a professor at the National Autonomous University of Mexico, 3261. Do you want me to?
Stop right there. Right now, I just want to focus on my work and improving myself.
Fine, she rolled her eyes. Future female CEO in the making.
As I lined up for security, I looked back at Zoe, who was still waving at me. Before the plane took off, I opened my laptop and clicked send on an anonymous article. The article detailed the entire process, from finding that anonymous post to Jackson's downfall, with all real names and details blurred out. The title was simple, How I Saw Through a Social Climber's True Colors. Before I turned off my laptop, I saw the article already had over 1,000 views, and the comment section was blowing up. People were sharing their similar experiences, analyzing the psychology of social climbers, and many women left comments saying thanks for the warning. A flight attendant reminded everyone to turn off their electronic devices. I leaned against the window, watching the city beneath the clouds get smaller and smaller. A month ago, I was stuck in a toxic relationship, thinking losing Jackson would be the end of the world. Now I was on a plane to a foreign country, about to start a whole new chapter in my career. The plane flew through the clouds, and I opened Zoe's gift. Inside were a pair of delicate butterfly earrings and a card. Break out of your cocoon and spread your wings, wishing you a bright future. Remember, you've got a sister in Mexico who's always got your back. The earrings sparkled in the sunlight, just like my mood right then. The plane climbed higher and higher, carrying me toward a brand new life. When the plane landed at Mexico City International Airport, the afternoon sun was blazing. I pulled my suitcase out of the terminal, and a warm, humid wave of air hit me. My phone buzzed, and a message from Zoe arrived right on time. Made it? My cousin's at the exit holding a sign for you. He's the one with the gold-rimmed glasses. I looked up and, sure enough, spotted a tall, lean figure in the crowd of greeters. He held a sign with my name on it, exuding a refined, gentle aura.
Iris?
Yes.
I'm Miles, Zoe's cousin.
He smiled as he took my suitcase. So much, Professor Miles.
Just call me Miles.
Leading me toward the parking lot in my head.
Zoe gave me 100 reminders to get you to your apartment safely.
In the car, Miles gave me a quick rundown of Mexico's customs and culture. He spoke in a clear, measured tone, making every conversation with him feel easy and pleasant.
The training center's near the university, and I've already got an apartment sorted for you. It's got your class schedule and a local life guide. I made an extra copy just for you.
I took the folded, a warm feeling welling up in my chest.
Zoe mentioned that you're quite impressive. You might be transferred to the risk management department after your 6-month training period. Our university's business school has a collaborative program with your company. Perhaps we'll have the opportunity to connect sometime.
That'd be amazing. The apartment was even better than I'd imagined. A bright, clean one-bedroom with a living room, every window sparkling clear. Miles helped me carry my luggage upstairs, then took his leave politely.
Call me anytime if you need anything. I dare not disobey Zoe's orders.
I closed the door, stood in the middle of the living room, and took a deep breath. A new life? This was really it. The training program started the very next day. The class was full of students from all over the world, every single one of them with a clear goal in mind. The intense coursework left me with barely any time to dwell on the past. It wasn't until the weekend a week later that I finally had a moment to sit down and sort out my thoughts. On my phone, Zoe sent the latest update.
Jackson's trial is next month. His parents are still running around trying to pull strings. Hilarious. Who'd even dare to help them? Also, the article you posted blew up. Lots of media outlets want to interview the anonymous author, but I've turned them all down for you.
I replied with a thankful emoji. In the case analysis class the second week, the professor assigned group work. I was paired with Raj from India and Emily from the US. We had to analyze a case of a failed merger by a multinational corporation.
I think the problem was the risk control department. They ignored the target company's hidden debts.
But the management's blind overconfidence was the main cause too. I paged through the materials carefully, and the whole Jackson incident popped into my mind out of nowhere. Actually, the biggest risk is almost always people. Did the company's executives let personal emotions and ambition cloud their judgment when making this decision? Like pushing for an irrational merger just to prove their own capabilities, or hiding key information for personal gain?
Iris is right. Risk control isn't just a numbers game. It's a game of human nature.
After class, Emily caught up with me. Your insight earlier was really profound. Have you had a similar experience before? You could say that. I've seen a few things, met a few people. On the weekend, Miles invited me out for some local food. We showed up at a restaurant.
How are you adjusting to the training?
It's great. Just a little fast-paced.
Zoe told me you had some trouble with a relationship before. Have you moved on now?
I have. Sometimes leaving a relationship is like taking off a blindfold that's been covering your eyes for years.
Yeah, I can imagine.
You suddenly realize how big the world really is.
Actually, I ended a long-term relationship 2 years ago too. I thought my world was falling apart back then. But looking back, it was fate giving me a second chance.
By the third week, company executives came to inspect the training program, and one of them was the vice president, Roy. When it was time for our case analysis presentation, I stood on stage on behalf of our group. We believe the core reason for this merger's failure was human risk. Royal agreed with my views a great deal. After the presentation, she made a point of seeking me out.
Iris, right? Your analysis is spot on. Do you have real-life cases to back this up?
I've been in a similar situation. Someone hid key information just to curry favor with people in power, and they ended up ruining their own reputation and life.
Human nature is truly the hardest risk to control. Would you consider interviewing for our department after the training?
Absolutely.